ho! We are live. We're back with more COFOH Live Undead just in time for this Halloween season. And I just got back from the dentist. Welcome to COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Jed Rowen.
Something on my face.
Jed, how are you?
I'm great. I'm awesome. I just where are you? I can't really see anything in this mask.
Oh man, it's so becoming though. It's very fetching.
I know. I don't know how I did a movie with this thing on. I can't see anything. I'm kind of blind. I'm kind of blind a little bit.
Oh, good product placement.
You know, I want to see the interview. Yeah, there we go. Now
there you go. Kind of stuffy in that thing, huh?
Oh, your poor guest subjected to my humor. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's right up my alley.
Well, I often remark to Sarah, you know, with this movie is that, you know, I was really the blind one. She could see everything that was going on. Really, I couldn't see anything in that mask.
Right.
I got kind of lucky with all the stabs and all the everything. Man, it was tough to see in that thing. But
did you have multiple masks? Like, did you have an action mask and one where for close up?
I think there was one. And Marcel, you know, it's a blank canvas up here, and he was really good with the wig. You know, I tried to talk him into getting whatever a wig credit would be in a movie. I assume there's some fancy title, probably wardrobe, right? Probably a wardrobe person.
Probably wardrobe. Yeah.
You know, he should have a credit for that because, you know, I'm putting him to work doing the wig, which he did so immaculately. But he refused, and I'll probably get in trouble for, you know, revealing this, you know, secret behind the scenes stuff that happened on the set. But he was that wig that was positioned so immaculately on my head during that whole movie. It was from Marcel.
Nice. Marcel has good taste.
Yeah. Oh, that wig looked great. It kind of not to get political here or anything, but it was kind of funny. It kind of reminded me of the former British Prime Minister. He had that kind of
Boris.
Yeah, Boris. It kind of
Boris Johnson.
Yeah, Boris Johnson. It kind of looked like that, and I put a post on my Facebook of pretty boy next to him, juxtaposed, and it was uncanny, the similarity with the hair. But
nice.
Don't need to digress into anything political.
Oh well, that's all right, because I think that might set itself up for Pretty Boy Part 3. Brexit, the ultimate kill switch.
On the lamb in England, right?
There you go. Yeah, most definitely.
He got a little too much here stateside, so we had to cross the pond, right, and start anew.
Yes,
we were onto him.
He's now incognito, living abroad, living his dream.
Yeah.
So Jed, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you came from, and how you got into film acting.
Well, I got into film acting. It might sound hard to believe, but I came. I would kind of came from the theater. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit of a stage snob, if you could say that. I did theater up in the Bay Area, little kind of black box theater. Avant-garde theater really is, kind of my first love with acting. I took that very seriously. Even at school, I did it a lot, and then got into these great little theater companies in the Bay Area. And then when I got into a movie, I was an extra in it, a homeless guy in a Hong Kong film called Sausalito. And then I did my little background part, and I guess I impressed them so much with my homeless performance that they're like, hey, would you want to come back and do this as a recurring character in the movie? And then I went and did it, and it was with kind of, at the time, it was with like the Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts of Hong Kong film, Maggie Cheung and Leon Lai. I don't know if you've heard of them or not, but
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie Cheung, you have. Yeah. She was, kind of a big deal for a while. Nice. And so, that ended, and then like months later, I went to this play somewhere in San Francisco, and I saw one of the crew people there and go, hey, that movie is playing at a movie theater in the Richmond district, and it went #1 in Hong Kong, and it's all over Asia. And I'm like, what? Nobody told me this. So I tracked down the little theater and, bought my ticket, which I still have. I save all of this stuff.
Cool.
And I went and saw me on the big silver screen. And actually, the screen wasn't really that big. It was like a tiny little theater in Richmond District. I assume it's probably not there anymore. It's probably been like paved over. It's condos now. But it was a great experience. And after that, I'm like, I'm international. I'm #1. It's time to go down to LA. So I went down to LA and did a bunch of theater too. And then I finally said, enough of the theater. I gotta start doing movies. And then the rest is history with lots and lots of horror movies, along with all sorts of other kind of movies. And here I am today, and I just came from this amazing convention that you ran. That it was one of the highlights of my whole career, and that's the story. With hopefully a lot more to go.
Yeah, a lot more to come.
A lot more to come, especially with this guy.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your experience with working on Blind and developing, this character. It's, with the mask and the wig and everything, it's become, this indie icon for horror.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked me that, because it's kind of an interesting story behind it. When I first, was asked to be in it, Marcel and Joe, I got the script, and there were no lines, So I was like, well, how do you approach an actor? There's a lot of roles you get where there aren't any lines, throughout an actor's career, and doing, if you're doing background or if you're just playing like a thug, right? Or whatever, there's plenty of roles like that. But, a leading role, kind of like what the title role of the movie, you want some, as an actor, you want something. So you want some lines, you want to develop a character, but there wasn't any of that. So I'm like, I was just thinking, like, I kind of sat down with myself and like, all right, what do I do with this character? I don't want to just kind of roam around like some, big doofus, right? And I just remember, like I drew upon and I thought about, as an actor doing all that theater all those years ago in a school, and then as a professional actor, you do all of these like really ridiculous like theater exercises,
right?
Like, okay, like you're a fish, go be a fish, and then you try to be a fish, and then okay, now you're a cloud, go be a cloud. Or you're a dog, go be a dog. And you have to do all this weird movement exercises and weird stuff. All your actors out there, that they know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I should put all of that stuff to use. And like, instead of like the lines and the words, like focus on the movement, focus on the feelings, focus on the weird, you know, kind of theater exercises that I did all those years ago that I could kind of like employ now and utilize, you know, with getting the emotion through the mask, through all of that, without any words. So it was like it became like an interesting challenge for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd like to think I pulled it off. I mean, a lot of people, when they come up to me and they say like, hey man, you know, you had so much emotion through that mask, that means to me that I did my job. That's like music to my ears when I hear that from people that have seen the movie.
Yeah.
That, I conveyed that that pathos, you know, without people seeing my real face, being behind a mask and no words. I made a couple phone calls to Joe Netter, the writer, and you know, I tried to talk him into you know, like a Blade Runner at the end where Rutger Hauer does the Tears in the Rain speech. I'm like, come on, man, let me just like Tears in the Rain speech, and he's like, nope, sorry. So I had to just kind of make do with it, but it was a whole kind of new experience, and I'm glad that he made me do that, and I had, because you always want to challenge yourself as an actor. You always want to do stuff that you haven't done before. Playing like a lead role without any lines, you know, that's kind of weird. So it was challenging, and I had a lot of fun, and I was really creative in meeting that challenge. You know?
Yeah, it sounds like you really got to, you know, stretch yourself out, you know, and convey as much as you can, you know, through the physicality, and the presence. Yeah, with I mean, it's you know, one thing to not have any lines, but also to be wearing a mask where you can't. One, you can't see. We've already established that before we went live. You couldn't see out of the damn thing, and so it's just like, wow, you know, what can you do? But yeah, like you know, those acting exercises that you indicated, you know, miming comes to mind.
There you go.
As well.
Oh yeah, so many great you know, acting traditions that really, you know, don't involve words, really, like you said, minds and all this creative stuff that, you know, you can entertain by not saying anything.
Right.
That's a perfect example.
Right. You know. Yeah. Angela just chimed in. She's got. She was commenting.
Hey, Angela.
The sliding glass door scene in Blind, where you are looking at Faye and she looks right through you, is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean that we had an incredible cinematographer on that movie, and you know, Marcel, just the visual kind of feats that little movie had. That was a tremendous scene. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too, Angela. Just you know, even to this day when I watch it, it kind of is scary, and I'm like, oh, I'm scaring myself. That's me, and I'm getting scared here. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. You know, taking that character and then moving it on into, you know, a follow-up, you know, Pretty Boy. What was that experience like? Like, how did you change anything in your approach?
Well, it was a different kind of movie. You know, it you know, Blind was kind of surprisingly it kind of transcended genres. I mean, it was nominated for all these awards and won all these awards in like different categories. It was like a horror movie, it was a thriller, it was like a film noir, it was all sorts of things. And, you know, Pretty Boy is really kind of more of your standard horror genre movie. And it also has, you know, more production value, but it really is, when you watch it, you kind of, you're not at all confused about what exact genre it is. Now, it's very complex, and it actually kind of reminds me so much of a stage play in certain parts of the movie.
Right.
So it really is a very that's kind of what I think the appeal of it is, so complex, and there's so much layers to it. But it is I think a dedicated horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, so it's I played it more, to answer your question. I played it. I think more of a little more of the horror guy and a little less of the emotional indulgence, maybe.
Sure.
But
Nice. Yeah, that and that seems to be the way with following up the original film in so many of these follow-ups, the sequels.
Yeah.
Is you go all in, right, on the horror and the spectacle too.
Yeah, it's both movies are, like I said, incredibly visual. Marcel has an incredible visual eye, so there really are spectacle. I mean, even like Blind, the cinematography in that, and the shots that we got, and we lucked out. I mean, it was almost like something. I don't want to sound too like spiritually kooky or whatever, but man, it was like it had rained, and it was like so crystal clear out, and the views we got from the house we were shooting at in the Hollywood Hills were just immaculate, and things looked incredible in Blind, even though the Pretty Boy budget kind of it was way more than Blind. Blind still had like tremendous spectacles and production value and such a visual experience. Yeah, both movies are very spectacle laden.
Nice. With that, we were talking about earlier about going to these like horror convention experiences and connecting with fans and everything. Have they been been recognizing you as Pretty Boy and and coming up and like, oh shit, you're the guy, because on an independent film level, you're kind of on par with the reminiscent like Mike Myers and Jason Voorhees type characters, and with you it's always that distinct look, that distinct presence on film, and then that distinct silhouette.
Yes.
And
the Boris hair.
Yeah, you got to get the hair, you got to get the the suit and everything, and it's like freaking prom night, right? Does anybody wear masks on prom night?
A prom night out of like Carrie, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that wouldn't end too well probably for Pretty Boy. I mean, telekinetic, right?
Well, we've been at several conventions. We're at San Diego Comic-Con, which was a blast, and I mean, people do recognize it, but hopefully after Pretty Boy, which I think Joe mentioned the distro, but I forget if he did. But we're hoping that we're very excited about the release that it's going to get, and hopefully a lot more people will see. We're upping the whole distro game, so we're hoping a lot more people will see it, and then I can do conventions for the rest of my days.
That would be fantastic. Now, with Pretty Boy, with the distribution on that, as I understand it, you can't really talk about that yet. But is there any indication of when it's actually going to be released?
That's the $1 million question.
Okay.
We are with bated breath, and no, we don't know any kind of release date. Believe me, if I knew the release date, I would have said that before my name introducing myself here on this interview. It would have been
nice.
I would have said it so many times that people, you're like, okay, Jed, thanks a lot. You can stop telling us about the release date now. So no,
plug the hell out of it.
Yeah, we don't know, and but when we do, when you know, you guys are going to know, and so will everybody else. So, but it is It is imminent, though. It is. Yeah. I think it's definitely, you know, I would say 2020, early to mid 2023.
Cool. Okay. So now we know. You know, it's like keep your eyes and ears out there, kids.
Yeah, it's going to be real juicy. Real juicy distro release. Real juicy.
Nice. Good. Well, and yeah, something like that, very well deserved. You know, I was able to catch Blind.
Excellent.
I think I've seen that twice, but yeah, I had Sarah and Joe on here.
Oh, I saw that show was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, cool! Thank you. And then you guys got to chat with my buddy Smurf on his platform.
Oh yeah, Smurf
at COFOH at the actual event.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah, he's a fantastic host, and
he's great. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking about him before. You know, he's a fun presence and and everything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we had such a blast, having you guys out.
Yeah, the whole convention was just a blast. I mean, you know, and then you know, we even did that a little screening of a third movie you screened, the Pandemic Undead. Ryan Barsulia's film that you know it was originally called Zombie Farm, and my character is I remember submitting to the casting notice, and one of the characters was inbred Jed. And on my 8x10, which it was so long ago, you mailed the physical 8x10s in the mail. I put a little yellow post-it saying, "Hey, I'm a Jed. I'd like to audition for inbred Jed." So
Brad just said, "Long live inbred Jed."
And Brad Rusk was there. He was there at the original Zombie Farm.
Oh yeah!
And that was at you of course know the Starfest Horror Fest.
Yep.
Which Brad was at, which Kathy Josie was so much fun to see her again. She was there, and that movie made my first convention appearance in 2007.
Oh my gosh!
I was officially and technically a celebrity.
Nice. How did that feel for a first time, going and being on the opposite side of the table?
I was so green. I just thought I had it made. I thought, oh man, this is just, this is easy street now in showbiz. And it's been tons of fun, but you realize with showbiz, you have to go back to the drawing board a lot. But I wound up going to I think 6 or 7 horror fests over years, and they supported so many movies that I had done, and then I did that other what was that other Colorado Springs?
Oh, Galaxy Fest.
Galaxy Fest. Yeah, I did that in Colorado Springs, and now I'm out here at your convention. It's I don't know what it is, but Colorado is supporting Jed Rowen. Colorado celebrity status of me. But why is that? Who knows? It's maybe something in the water there or something in the stars there. I don't know what it is, but Colorado has been very good to me.
It's because we serve the best Rocky Mountain oysters. Oh, yeah, I set that one up good.
No comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always fun to go out there, and it's just a great support network, and I hope to go back to many more if you'll have me.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Definitely, we'll chat with Brett on that.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But of course, with Pretty Boy coming out, sometime next year, and then can you talk about any of your any other upcoming prospects?
Yes, we have a very I have a lot of really exciting things. I have from the same director of Zombie Farm.
Cool.
I have this movie called Amber Road.
Okay.
Which is just a totally amazing horror movie that's coming out. And I have Space Wars, Quest for the Deep Star, which I think that title is changed, but let's just call it Space Wars. And that movie, Sarah is the star of it.
Cool.
And Joe wrote it.
Nice.
And with this amazing director, Gatto. And that movie is like really kind of my Gatto Setion.
Okay.
That really is kind of my first love because it's obviously a science fiction.
Yeah.
It's a space, like a crazy like space drama movie that is like all these incredible sets, and they filmed it in outside of Las Vegas, and it's just really my first love is science fiction. I read science fiction. I love science fiction movies. So it's very hard, on a small movie level, it's kind of hard to pull off science fiction. Not a lot of people really try it. Because it's kind of, you need massive production value, and it's a hard genre to tackle when you're an indie person. And but Gatto is fearless, and Sarah is so amazing in this role, and I think it's really going to open doors for her because she just kicks ass. And we have Michael Pare in it, and which it was a thrill working with him, and also Olivier Gruner, which I kind of grew up with Olivier Gruner movies. He was a big action kind of star in the 90s and 80s, and he was just I knew him, like I couldn't believe he was going to be in this movie. And so that was a real thrill. And so that's a great one coming out. And then we also have to finish up with your question, we have That's a Wrap, which is really going to be one of, I think, my best all-time movies. It came out so well. Marcel directed that. Joe wrote it. Sarah is in it. We have Serena Vincent, Monique Parent. I mean, all these amazing actors in it. Dave Sheridan, Robert Donovan. I mean, it just came out. I've seen a rough cut. It's just absolutely funny, hysterical, amazing. Hopefully, we can bring it out maybe to your convention next year.
Cool. It seems like working with like Joe and Sarah and Marcel, you have a pretty close knit, creative family.
Yeah, very lucky to be part of that. I think it kind of reminds me of, I mentioned my stage days and theater days. When you're in a little theater company, you really, it's a really kind of special thing. You really bond with people, and you have these great experiences. Like you're going into battle with people,
right?
In these plays, and you have kind of friends for life. And when you get into the film world, you don't necessarily have that all the time. You show up on sets, and not everyone is bonding. You're there with like maybe big name actors don't necessarily want to do theater exercises with you, let alone run lines or anything. And it's more business, which is what it is. But to kind of carve out this little community that I'm lucky to be in with Joe and Sarah and Marcel and all these other actors, Ben Kaplan, and so many other like people. You feel like you're in like a little ensemble theater group, which I think is really kind of the best creative environment you could be on if it's kind of like a theater company.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to kind of explain that to some of the people in the film world, and it's very special to be in this little fun creative group and actually make movies on kind of a big level. These movies are there's a lot of professionalism to them. There's a lot of production value to them. There's a lot of the distro is it's getting out in the world. I mean, Blind was in over 20 territories.
Cool.
A little movie like that. So we really do a lot with a little, and some of these budgets are getting bigger. And so I feel very lucky to be a part of it. You know?
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I really like the analogy of, it's a theater troupe.
Yeah, yeah, theater troupe. That's even better way of putting it. Like it's a troupe,
Yeah.
and again, to me, those are the most creative environments.
Right.
Pull that off.
Yeah, it creates that safe space. You guys know your strengths and
Yep.
can support each other on your weaknesses and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. We're all rooting for each other, and we're all that's very important in a doing something like a movie, because it's very hard to make a movie. There's a lot of challenges, to make a movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of working components, and
a lot of moving parts, and
it's so easy to have something just go, in disarray.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For a million different, like doing a convention.
Yep.
A lot of moving parts, and it's kind of like a convention. Basically, everyone at some point, the day it happens, just shows up and does it. It's not like you're necessarily rehearsing things forever to doing it. You just gotta. Everyone shows up and does it, and deal with being blindsided by who knows what. And making it.
That's right. That's when I wish I had an Iron Man suit or a Pretty Boy mask to hide behind. So yeah.
But I'll tell you, the last of that convention, it went very, very smoothly. I mean, it wasn't chaotic at all. So I don't know if I know the whole story, but from what I saw, everyone was having fun, and I think it kind of went without a hitch.
Yeah, for like a fan experience like that, that's what we try to do. Is we've got like Chris has been Chris Ferris. He's one of our star one of our star volunteers, and it's because of guys in individuals like him that help make an event as.
Oh yeah! Oh, Chris is great. And, one of the other volunteers,
that is.
He was a huge Blind fan. He was the one.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered his name, but they were just so enthusiastic about the movies, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that genuine, like they're into it, they're into the movies, they're into what you guys are showing, and it was great fan reaction there. Terrific fan reaction.
Yeah, I think there's as far as our event goes too, we'd love to have COFOH be a platform where creatives, whether it's filmmakers or comic book creators or novelists, come and can announce their project, right? In a way that will connect with the community, connect with patrons that are attending, and connect with the media to help, get the word out of, what amazing art is being created. Because, especially with horror is a genre that I feel is, probably the most accessible. It's like that in comedy. It's an easy way to connect with people and really, share ideas and concepts in a very accessible, quick, way to transport those thoughts and ideas.
I mean, the followings of horror, and that's just like such a very important point. Is that like one of the reasons I really got into horror was there are magazines, there are conventions, there are film festivals, all kinds of websites. I mean, there's so many things that support the genre. It's a very active genre that is kind of multimedia. It's across the board.
Yeah.
Conventions are one of the best kind of examples of that.
Yeah.
And, at your convention, I was lucky enough to be sitting next to Hex Publishers.
Oh, yeah, they're great. Josh and Dean.
They were amazing, all those guys. And, I met Mario Acevedo, one of the authors. And,
super talented.
I met him years ago. I dragged him to a couple of my horror movies at Horror Fest.
Nice.
His reaction was pretty funny. When he walked out of that theater, he's like, "Yeah, that was great. Okay, thanks. But he is a great guy, and he's a great writer. I just read one of his books, Good Money Gone. It was like incredible. And I got a whole bunch of books from Hex that I can't wait to read. And they're all just great guys. And so, yeah, you have so many different. That's what's so great about conventions. What I love them. I always buy books from the authors there. I love the craftsmen that are there making all their jewelry. I'm always walking around. I'm not just there for just to promote what I'm doing. I love conventions, and I love all the different artists that are there. And,
it's, the artistry and craftsmanship is always amazing.
Yeah.
We get one of our other super volunteers, saying nice things about Chris. What Chris said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jason Larkins, another one of those super.
Oh yeah, you had great volunteers.
Yeah, Angela's chiming in. Chris is amazing. He's a huge supporter of indie. Suddenly, this turned into the Chris fan show here.
Chris, you're upstaging me a little bit here.
Yeah, come on. So Dad, who are you wearing? Well, clearly the Blind T-shirt, but
yeah. Oh yeah. This is the Blind T-shirt, and I brought this, just to. This is actually,
oh my God,
a product, Trick or Treat. You can find this in certain stores.
Sweet. Oh crap, that's creepy as
well. And see, I still look at that. I still haven't unwrapped it. It's still in its little bag here.
It's gonna be worth something someday. Oh,
pretty boy costume. Let me extra large, so it doesn't fit me at all. But in Joe and Sarah's apartment, they have a mannequin that they put this on. So I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. I got to find me a mannequin and put this on it. So that's my next, that's one of my goals I'm going to do. And when people come in my place, they'll see Pretty Boy standing up, with the mask and the wig.
Oh, that's going to be creepy as hell. Had I known this, I used to have a couple mannequins, and I could have given you one. Instead, I threw them away.
Well, the missed opportunity there. Can you say?
Very much so.
I live in LA. I assume there's mannequins around somewhere around the city.
I'm sure. People need to make friends, and so that's one way to do it, right?
Yeah, but I noticed. I don't think the I don't think the wig is in here. So I don't know if it maybe it is, but if not, I have to get me a wig.
Right.
I will say this one, if I did put it on, this is nice and new. The one that I wore to San Diego Comic-Con, and then I wore it at Twin Cities Film Festival when Pretty Boy was there. That thing between you and me, it's never been washed.
Ooh,
so, that's 3 years with a couple movies under its belt. Forgive the pun.
Yeah, and, looks a little filmy.
When something is covered with blood like that, it's it's not that easy to go and dry clean that.
No, a lot of questions get asked too.
What?
A lot of questions get asked too.
Yeah. Oh, that's
it's just ketchup, I swear.
Yeah, you go to pick it up, and there's a couple cops waiting for you, right?
And it's like, oh, is this my ride-along day? Ah, sweet. Yeah,
that's a good one. Thanks for warning me about that. That's something to think about when I get it dry cleaned at some point.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, seeing the film projects and everything that you're working on. Yeah. You were talking about the zombie film that you met Brad on. In the early days.
Yep.
And all the way back in what 2007 sounds like
2007. That's that's when it first happened, where my face was splashed on a big convention site, and I was a celebrity coming to town in Denver. Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
in between there, like, what are some more like memorable roles leading up to
Well,
Blind?
I'm glad you got to that because um, I love to talk about really my biggest movie is The Ghastly Love of Johnny X.
Oh,
That is
great.
a black and white sci-fi musical
Oh, wow.
um, that kind of
Your
made us.
favorite genre?
I'm sorry.
Your favorite genre too, sci-fi.
My favorite genre, and it actually screened at Horror Fest 2, and I'm like, I remember talking to Kathy about this. I'm like, well, it's a sci-fi movie. It's Horror Fest, and she's like, well, there is a zombie in it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So, it's kind of a lot of different genres. It's also a musical.
Nice.
And that is, the show The Office.
Yep.
With, do you know the Creed Bratton? The character Creed.
I guess I don't remember him.
He's a pretty prominent character on the show, and he was the lead in it.
Okay.
And he's amazing, and he was amazing. He was just terrific in it. And we had Paul Williams
Okay.
from the Muppets, and he's been in a lot of huge movies. He was in it, and it's my biggest and best role. I played Sluggo, and it got out there. It got out there pretty well. It became infamous because it was the grossest. I'm sorry, grossest. The lowest grossing film of 2012.
Oh dear.
Now I'll tell you how that happened. So it played all over the place. I mean, it was at film festivals all over the world. But in terms of the box office, film festivals it doesn't really count towards box office.
Right.
So it won a best movie award at a film festival in like Missouri or Kansas or one place like something like that. And the prize was, if you won, then the movie gets to play at a real theater in a mall. So, a real movie theater. So, that's cool. It got a week-long release, and that was the prize. So because of that, it was actually a real box office movie. So it counted with all the other real box office.
Yeah.
And, if you don't publicize a movie,
funny
in some mall in the middle of Missouri, I mean, you're only going to get so much, so many people in there. So, like a few people went and made like $117 or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But then that became number one. I think, it got a lot of publicity because I think Christian Slater had like the number 2 movie that year. It made like $250.
Wow.
They were kind of, there was a lot of publicity about him doing that, or it was like the 4th movie, something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, by the way, the number 1 movie is The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. And because of that, CBS Morning News did this whole expose on it.
Cool. Free publicity.
There you go. And because of that great publicity, all these mom and pop theaters all over the country wanted to screen it. So it gave it like a nice life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite. If you or your fans want to see it, I of course highly recommend it.
That's cool.
And then my other kind of famous movie that I'm infamous for is a little movie called The Amazing Bulk. And I did that on a random weekend in the middle of doing many movies, and then it was forgotten about, and then it has become a worldwide phenomenon. And instead of pretending that it never happened, I just own it, and I'm proud of it. And this movie has become more famous than like some of your viewers. I'm surprised no one's popped up and talked about it yet. But people know about it. People know.
Yeah, Brad mentioned that you were in a film with Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney's last film.
No kidding.
It's called. It was a Jekyll and Hyde: Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, also
Oh,
done by Brian Barsulia,
okay.
who did the Zombie Farm movie and who is doing the Amber Road movie. So that was kind of interesting to be on his last film.
Yeah.
Brad, I think knows more about my career than I do.
He is a bit of a walking encyclopedia of films.
Yes, but I'm really excited about all these, latest movies I'm in, and I've done a lot of crazy movies throughout my career, and I think past 100 on the IMDb credits, and
Wow.
I tell people one of my famous quotes that I want to send to IMDb is I've made 100 movies and $100.
$1 a roll, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's been fun. But I think the movies are getting better and better.
Good. That's awesome. Jed, we've got just a few more minutes, but wanted to talk to you a little bit more as a fan of the genre. Like, what do you gravitate towards?
I really gravitate towards the absurd.
Okay.
Absurd meaning, like, for instance, and I speak for Joe. Joe and me have the same favorite horror movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Nice. That's awesome.
You know that movie, right?
Yeah. I do.
It's the absurdity of it.
Yeah.
That's really, and I think it comes from my theater days.
Okay.
All those avant-garde plays, Samuel Beckett, Ionesco. I mean, all that stuff was absurd. It was just kind of crazy, absurd stuff, and that's really my favorite thing. Like, I like Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, even like Hellraiser 3. I mean, the movies where they really kind of go kind of nuts, and they stop trying to make it like a pure horror movie and more of like a zany kind of thing. That's really where my real love is. But I love all the straight horror stuff too, and I love regular dramas. I like all movies. I'm not one of these people that just likes this or that. I like it all.
Yeah.
But my favorite stuff is the crazy, absurd stuff.
Nice. That's
awesome. Very good question.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that sort of stuff too. When it comes to Texas Chainsaw, that's my favorite horror movie, the original, the first one.
Yeah. I think it's Joe's favorite, or Joe thinks it's the best, but his favorite is the second one.
Yeah, and I totally appreciate the second one because it's just same director, just a complete swing to the fences.
For some reason they just decided to have fun with it. And just have like it took a life of its own.
Yeah.
I remember going to a screening of that movie and sitting next to Caroline Williams.
Yeah.
And she was giving me on the balcony of the Egyptian, which is my favorite movie theater.
Cool.
Seeing my favorite movie of all time. And the crowd that night was packed, and they were so into it. And she was giving me this play-by-play while we were watching the movie of what was going on. Like, she said, "Hey, look, Dennis Hopper, he's really smiling here."
Yeah.
Oh my God, he is. He's smiling. He's laughing. When one of those scenes where he's picking up the chainsaw when he's down in the place their little hideout.
Yeah, the little abandoned fun house thing.
And he was she was giving me all this insider stuff, and it's like, oh my God, that is just, they were having fun.
Yeah.
And I did a movie with her, and then I did another movie called Chastise that's coming out soon too, with Bill Moseley.
Sweet.
So I have been in movies with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 actors. And Bill Moseley is one of my favorite all-time actors. I remember when I was on the set of Chastise, I was just kind of sitting alone having my lunch. And I've said this in another interview. actually. I was sitting all alone, which is, I just wanted to kind of eat my food.
Right.
And crew was sitting at the other tables. And guess who sat down right next to me, to keep me company? Bill Moseley. He was a great guy. He was terrific acting that day, and he's just a kind of a hero of mine. So it was a thrill being in the movie with him.
He is a sweetheart. I've met him and Sid Haig before, and
oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
they were absolutely charming and really engaging. They were
very engaging, very interested in fans and people that are interested in the movies, and it was great working with him.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Well, Jed, I want to thank you for coming on the show and hanging out with me and chatting and getting to know you a little bit more. I wish we had a little bit more of a chance to chat, at COFOH itself.
Yeah, well, you're a little busy, right?
I was putting out fires.
But I, we talked a bunch, and I had a blast talking with you on this, and hopefully, we could do this again, and hopefully I can come back out to the convention, and but yeah, always terrific time talking to you, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. Jed, hang out for a little bit, while we sign off.
Okay.
But definitely want to say thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight.
Yeah.
And of course, to Chris, this is his show too, apparently.
Space Wars, man, that's going to be a good one.
And then William here,
hey,
and of course Brad and Angela, and I think Tommy was on here too.
Awesome.
But thanks for tuning in, guys.
A lot, everybody.
Yeah, COFOH Live and Undead's back for the Halloween season till the end of the year, and then of course season 5 will kick off probably in January next year as we get ready for the next Colorado Festival of Horror.
Mm-hmm.
But of course we got to say thanks to our sponsors, to Mutiny Information Cafe. If this icon will show, come on, there you go. God, it's slow on my end. Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And our friends at Hellfire Entertainment, thanks for rebroadcasting this on your social media. Groovy TV, and of course Alien Donut Films. Bill and Angela over there, thanks for all your support, and our producers Amanda Armstrong and Stefan Santa Cruz, and of course to all you cool spooky people out there tuning in and participating in the conversation. Thanks so much, and go out and see Blind, and damn it, when Pretty Boy hits, be the first in line to support great independent films.
Oh, preach, brother, preach.
Yes. Oh, but again, Jed, thanks so much for coming on, and
pleasure was all mine. The pleasure was all mine. Let's do this again.
Yes, and putting up with my gibberish, of course.
Hey, putting up with my gibberish, and you know what? A good idea when Pretty Boy finally gets out. Yeah. Oh, that might be a good time for another show. Right?
Most definitely. Well, we're gonna have to have you and Sarah and Joe and Marcel. I think that'd be a virtual round table.
Oh, virtual round! I can't wait for that.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody out there in the real world, I suppose.
Thanks, Brad and Angela and Chris and everybody else.
And of course, be good, be kind, help each other out during these tough times.
Yes.
And stay spooky. Happy Halloween, everybody. Have a good night.